Welcome into our Countdown to First Pitch interview series. Today I'm visiting with longtime head coach at Arkansas Monticello, Coach John Harvey. Coach, thanks for the time. And let's start where I've kind of started with most of the other coaches and just talk about the fall a little bit. How did things go from August to December for the Weevils and for Monticello baseball?
Well, Michael, first of all, thanks for having me on. I'm glad we get to do this again. And it has been a long time. It's my 12th year here at UAM now. So looking forward to that 12th season to get going. But the fall went well. I mean, it was nice to be back to somewhat of a normal fall. You know, the fall of 2020, I think we were all dealing with different COVID rules, and it kind of kept us out of the weight room a little bit. We were able to get back in the weight room like we're used to this fall, and I think that has shown some benefits. It was nice to have a lot of our team back. We have a lot of old guys that have been here a while, so they knew what expectations or we knew their expectations and knew what expectations to pass along to the newer guys. So that was fun to watch, and overall great fall.
When the season ended and the recruiting process kind of picked up, and I know you're doing a lot of that, kind of during the year anyways, but what were you looking for? What kind of pieces did you need to add?
Well, we had a couple of big shoes to fill. Dylan Borman was our shortstop for the past 3 years. And to start the year last year, he was hurt a little bit, so he didn't get going until, I don't know, the sixth game or so, and he ends up hitting 16 home runs, 11 doubles in 34 games. So it's kind of hard to replace that offensive production, but we were looking for that. And with Dylan, it was not just the numbers. It was just what he brought to the field every day and what he brought to practice and his energy and attitude. I don't think he ever showed up to the ballpark just not ready to go and not with good energy. So we'll miss that. But, I feel like we've signed a good shortstop and we're ready to go in that way. Andrew Pirano was behind the plate, so we were looking for a catcher to replace him. And we had a couple of guys here that we really like, so didn't really have to go out to go get a catcher. And then, we had some big arms on the back end. Of course, Matt Lund, who was hurt last year, but, I mean, you still have to go out and replace that guy. A couple of big arms on the back end, like Ohani Chacon or Jared Roberts. So, yeah, we were looking to go out and replace those guys. And it went well. I mean, I feel like we've brought in a good group. Chase Cripps will be the shortstop. We found him at a junior college in California. And, of course, he gets to come in after 2 years of junior college as a freshman. So we feel like we have a really good shortstop there for the next 4 years.
Coach, I was going to ask if there was a Pirano on the roster. Seems like there's been one about 8 years. You just mentioned Andrew there, so.
Well, now we have Andrew and Nick both on staff here.
Okay, so, all right. So the answer is yes. They're still there.
They don't even consider themselves from California anymore. That's
wow.
A little bit of a stretch,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
How long has it really been? When did the first one take the field for you?
Oh man, let's see. Nick was here. His first year was 2016, I believe.
Okay, not quite as long as maybe I thought, but yeah. All right, well, let's talk pitching for a second. River Hunt, awesome year last year. He's coming back. Talk about some of your pitchers.
River is a big one coming back, and Mason Philly, both Raw Conference guys last year, so we'll be relying on them heavily at the top of the rotation. We feel like both of those guys have gone out and gotten better because at times last year they did struggle to command the zone a little bit, so they've worked really hard to fix that. Both of them are extremely hard workers. So yeah, along with those two, I mean, we have a couple of guys that were on staff last year but were hurt, and Derek Potts would be a big one. We were counting on him last year, but then he was out with an injury, so didn't pitch at all. So he had a great summer, great fall. We don't know what he'll do. We don't know if he'll be on the back end or if he'll be that number 3 guy. Charles Peacock is another guy that came in, a junior college transfer out of Galveston. Spencer Johnston, he was an in-conference transfer. He graduated at East Central and has come over here to finish his master's degree. Cameron Johnson was a guy that was on staff last year but that didn't get to play last year, so he's back. We really like him. And then we have another 3 or 4 guys that we're looking to fill the gaps there in the bullpen.
So, Coach Harvey, offensively, Jordan Jacobson, I mean, this guy could potentially break a whole lot of records at Monticello in the Great American Conference. And, it'd take a little while to go through the history of the names, but Corey Woods and Trevor Rutker and some of these guys who put up really great numbers for a career, this guy's right there with him. Talk about him and what he brings to the table.
Well, Jordan Johnson.
Yeah. Excuse me.
I mean, he's been here. He redshirted his first year, and then he had the COVID year. So this is his sixth year. I don't guess we're tired of him yet. He's another guy that shows up to the ballpark every day with great energy. He's the president of SAC. He does all the right things, makes great grades, and then on the field, he's just been a monster for us on the field. And he's healthy right now, and we're looking for a big year out of him. I don't know how many home runs he is away from the GAC record, but I know it's pretty close. And
I'll see if I can. I had that number earlier as well. I'll see if I can find it. Let's talk about some other offensive players. Who else are we going to be counting on, or are you going to be counting on for UAM this year?
Well, we have a couple other guys that have been here for a while too. Grant Shepard in center field. This is his sixth year here as well. And he has just continued to get better each year. And I don't know what he hit last year, around 370 or so. Had a really good year. He's a really good center fielder. So we're looking for big things out of him. We have Cade Thompson back at second base. And this is his fifth year. He's still a junior, though. And he's what most people didn't know about half the year last year. He was dealing with injury and sickness. So he was banged up the second half of the year. So he's back and healthy. And then for the first time since 2019, David Reyna, we feel like, is healthy. And he had a big year in 19, then he had an injury in 20, and then he had this massive surgery, had to fly to Philadelphia to have the surgery. Didn't really think he was ever going to get to play again.
Wow.
And then he's just battled back and battled and battled. And we feel like he's pretty healthy right now. So he'll be we hope he's a big part of what we do. And then, the rest of the guys, it's going to be some new faces around the field. We can talk about those guys if you want.
I believe it's 3 more home runs for Jordan, by the way. But
3 more home runs, okay.
Yeah, that's up to you, Coach. You may have some position battles there. Don't want to have you necessarily feel like you have to mention everybody, but
right.
Feel free to mention anybody else you'd like.
Well, we like the 2 catchers that we have that are going to replace Andrew, Nick Ficuri and Reese Reading. And then we don't really know what we're going to do at the corner infield spots. Jordan may move to first. We have a couple guys battling it out at third, or we have another couple guys at first base that could play there and Jordan back to third. So we really don't know. But we have a bunch of guys that we like. That BJ Lee was a transfer out of Murray in Oklahoma, and then we think he's probably going to play left field. And then if is it Reyna in right? We don't know. Is it Hudson Hopkins? We got another couple of transfers that it could be in right as well. But yeah, we still have some things to figure out.
And also, Coach, let's talk about your schedule. I like to mention this. Of course, I know wins and losses, it doesn't add up to anything extra by playing at Minute Maid Park, but it is a fun experience for the team. I know y'all are going to get to go play down there. So talk about that a little bit and maybe just a couple of your games before conference play begins.
Yeah, we opened up with a couple of midweeks with West Hal, and we were supposed to play at Minute Maid the first weekend, and then it got moved. So we ended up with an open weekend. So we were able to fill those with a couple of midweeks. And then we go to Houston, which this will be our 4th or 5th time down there, and it's a great experience for the guys. We show up on Thursday, take batting practice on the field, and then we play 1 game a day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We play Central Missouri, who I'm not sure what they're ranked, but I'm sure they're probably top 10. Augustana, I'm sure they're probably top 10, and then Maryville. And then it's conference time. Then we have Southwestern Oklahoma coming in, who's always tough, and it's always a fight. And then we go to Alva for the 4th time in 3 years.
Yeah.
We'll make that 10 hours.
That's not a long trip, is it? That's quite a ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lastly for you, Coach, as we are still kind of in this time where who knows what might happen next week or tomorrow, what's your mindset and mentality for your team as you embark on your 12th year and what we hope is a full season of baseball?
Yeah, maybe a little optimistic right now, but it feels like it's going to be a normal season. I say that as we have, 4 or 5 guys that are coming back from COVID over break. But I don't know. It's kind of nice to know that we have a 50-game schedule planned. We have a regular conference tournament planned instead of the single game that we had to do last year. and the 40 games that we had to play last year. And that 40 to 50 games to me is huge because we do have a few games to figure some things out before we get into conference, where we really didn't have that last year.
Yeah.
But, I think the league's really tough. I think there are some some teams like us with some older guys coming back that I don't know. I really think it could be, and we say this a lot, but I think it'll be one of the most competitive years that we've had in GAC.
All right. Well, Coach, I'm looking forward to it. Best of luck to UAM, and thanks for the time.
Thanks for having us.
All right. We're all good. We're done. Thank you, Coach. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.